I created G-plans out of nutrition frustration. One day during nutrition studies at Duke University, we came across a revelation. We discovered that everyone has a completely unique metabolic structure and type. Eating a generic diet program will not get you the results you want, and you will continue on a path of yo-yo dieting forever. Ultimately, sustainable food programs are built within your own specific metabolic template.
I eat what Dr. G tells me to eat for my metabolic type. I don't call this program a diet because I eat more than on other programs.
Hello, welcome. I'm so glad to see you here for another nutrition masterclass. We have a very important topic we're going to discuss today on how to really renew and improve your relationship with food. And this is so important because you want to be able to enjoy food, not have, a lot of anxiety and stress associated around food. And this is also going to help you to be able to see better results and to maintain your weight long term. So super important. As a reminder today, so anytime throughout our presentation, if you have questions, comments come up, please feel free, go ahead and add that to the chat box today, because I love to take some of your questions and talk with you a little bit at the end. So we're going to dive right in here in just a minute and get started. All right. All right, so today's topic is renew your relationship with food. Okay, so this is our little overview today, our table of contents. We're going to discuss, first of all, how to tell if your relationship with food has been damaged. Next, we're going to talk about ways for you to begin improving your relationship with food. I'm going to ask you in the middle a little bit about how you personally feel your relationship with food is, and then we'll close out with a few additional tips there. Then lastly, of course, we'll always have our tip of the week and a special promotion as well. All right, and so if you do need some additional support, some extra help, of course, feel free. You can definitely add a question in the chat box there, but you can also reach out to me through email. So if you have something else, maybe something that's more personal you'd like to reach out to me about, please go ahead and send me an email there. Email is there on the screen. Okay, all right, so is your relationship with food damaged? Years of following restrictive diets and conflicting advice can damage your relationship with food. It is important to have a healthy relationship with food, as this will help to ensure you see the best results that last, and this is going to allow you to enjoy all foods in moderation. So, first, here's a few signs to look for if your relationship with food may have been damaged. So if you notice you feel guilty after eating, you avoid certain bad foods, and want to clarify there, of course, if your focus is weight loss, if you're on a nutritional plan, you may minimize certain foods in your diet, and that is great. That's a beneficial thing to do, but to completely avoid and consider a certain food that bad food is not the best mindset to set us up for a healthy relationship with food. Also, you might have many rules over which foods that you can and cannot eat. You might have a history of following several restrictive diets. You may feel stress and anxiety when eating in public places. And you may also find yourself in a cycle of restricting and binging certain foods, maybe certain foods that you do consider to be bad foods. All right, so Working on improving your relationship with food is definitely a journey, and it's a process. It's going to take some time. So these are a few keys to kind of help you focus on starting, rebuilding, and improving your relationship with food. So first off, the big one is ditch restrictive diets. Restrictive diets can cause us to look at certain foods as good and other foods as bad. This can cause you to feel more guilt and shame when eating certain foods and can promote binge eating. Next up is eat mindfully. So focus on being fully engaged with your meal, really enjoy your meal, enjoy the food when you're eating, and prevent multitasking during your meal. Notice the smell, the taste, the appearance of your food, and be thankful for the nourishment that it provides. And lastly here too is it's so important to give yourself grace. So dwelling on the past does not serve you or your body. It only causes stress that can then cause you to fall off track with your plan. Know that there is always going to be times where we may slip up. It's going to happen, totally inevitable, and there are no foods that are completely off limits. It's all about learning from the past and using this knowledge to create a good plan for the future. So yes, first and foremost, it's very tough. You can't really improve your relationship with food if you're following very restrictive diets. So hopefully you're a member of G Plans. Again, we focus on ensuring that you're eating consistently. You have a healthy, balanced plan. So stop those yo-yo diets, things that are very restrictive and don't lead you to long-term success. Really eat mindfully, focus on enjoying your food, and give yourself some grace if you do fall off track. All right, and I'd love if you tell me, feel free to add this in the chat box. How do you feel about your relationship with food at this time? Do you feel like maybe your relationship could use some repair? Know that repairing your relationship with food can take some time and effort, and it's totally worth it. Experiencing anxiety and stress around certain foods is not fun and can also derail your weight loss efforts. Working with a health coach is also an excellent idea for a bit of extra support as you take your first steps towards a healthier relationship with food. So sometimes definitely improving a relationship with food, if you've been on restrictive diets for years and years, it's going to take a little time. It's going to take a little effort, and working with a health coach, working with a nutritionist is an excellent way to get a little extra support and guidance on your journey to do that. So again, if you're ever interested in that here at G Plans, I'm a nutritionist at G Plans. We have a great team, and we would love to work with you. All right, so few additional tips here, couple things to keep in mind. Number one, focus as best you can on the positive. When we focus on foods, when we say things like we can't have this puts us into a negative mindset that can cause us to crave those foods even more. Instead, tell yourself, I get to have this, and know that you can still have any food on occasion. Stay positive and don't force yourself to eat the same foods over and over. Give yourself some variety and experiment with different fruits and veggies. So, of course, there may be foods that you eat less frequently. And of course, that may be due to just prioritizing other foods due to their nutrient density, things like that. So any food, though, can fit into your diet on occasion. So don't stay in that negative mindset. Stay positive and have fun with your meals too. Again, try some new fruits and vegetables and focus on the positive that way. Next is also check in with your emotions. Be aware of moments where you might be reaching for a snack when you might not maybe feel physical hunger. What emotions are you feeling at that time? Connecting with your emotions and finding another way to respond rather than eating can help to better address how you're feeling and disconnect from an emotional eating cycle. So one tip I really love is if you do notice in that moment you're feeling hungry, maybe you don't notice you're as physically hungry, take a piece of paper, maybe the note section on your phone, and write down any emotion you're feeling at the moment. And then just give yourself 10 minutes. Tell yourself you're just going to wait 10 minutes to have that food. But during those 10 minutes, think of other things that might make you feel better in that moment or might help that emotion in that moment more than food. You may find in doing that, first of all, it's going to help you connect to your emotions better. And what it can do as well is after those 10 minutes, you may notice, I don't even want that food anymore. And I've found another activity, something else that will satisfy that better. All right, and so my tip of the week is all about variety. So when it comes to improving your relationship with food as well, it's important to enjoy your plan. Again, I want to stress, if you find things on your plan, certain meals, certain foods that work really great for you, that's excellent. And it's great to repeat those meals as well. But still make sure you're giving yourself some variety on occasion. When it comes to following your meal plan, again, finding what works is definitely essential, but it's also key to ensure that you do incorporate variety. Repeating those same meals and snacks too often can cause you to feel a little bored and unsatisfied. So make sure you're trying something new here and there. Ensure that you regularly kind of experiment with something new. This may be a new recipe, a new vegetable to prepare, a new fruit as your snack, or maybe a different way to prepare one of your favorite meals. So again, you might see the ingredients on one of your favorite meals and maybe that's something you prepare in the oven. Maybe you switch it up just a little bit. Maybe you prepare it in the air fryer. Also, don't neglect spices. So having plenty of different spices to experiment with. This is an excellent way to, again, add a lot of variety to your meals without a lot of calories and add new flavors. All right, and last thing here, special promotion of the week. We have a great promotion with our Eat Fit Go prepared meals. And the promotion today is a box of free meals. So that will get you 5 free meals to get going. So you'll definitely want to look for this promotion in your email after this call today. So check that out. Look for those details there and take advantage getting those 5 free meals. Again, if you're a G Plans member, these are great because they're ready for you, easy, ready to go, and you can add them into your meal plan. All right. And this does bring me to the end of today's presentation. So if you have anything else to add to the chat box at this time, go ahead and please do so. All right. All right. Robert had some questions. Look like he was wondering exactly what to eat, what foods are good, and what foods are better to prioritize in your plan. That's a great question, Robert. So, of course, we're going to prioritize in general more whole-based foods. And reason why that is because a lot more processed foods, in general, you're going to get higher calories, less nutrient density, and a lot of the times they're not going to help to keep you as full and satiated as well. So prioritizing those whole-based foods is an excellent place to start. And then from there, ensuring that you're eating the correct portion sizes and you're eating consistently is very important also. So if you're not already a G Plans member, I would encourage you to check out our options for joining. That way, you are a great meal plan is custom built for you, and you know the correct portion sizes and right foods to eat for a balanced plan. All right. Alrighty. Kimmy had a question about how to track something not on the plan for G Plans. That's a great question. Kimmy, you can do this in the app by looking for the plus sign button. That's going to be at the bottom center of your screen. So that's how you can add in an outside food item that way. All right. John said that he does experience maybe some boredom. Boredom is a trigger for snacking or when he's nervous. So those are two very common emotions to feel that trigger to eat. So I would definitely encourage you, John, what I mentioned today, kind of jotting down that emotion, maybe on a piece of paper in your phone. When you notice that trigger, maybe to grab a snack, jot that down, spend a few minutes to think maybe about another activity, something else that might help you to feel even better in that moment than reaching for the snack. All right. Kimmy also said if you add a new vegetable, like I was mentioning, kind of adding some new fruits and vegetables for variety. If you add a new vegetable to your plan, do you add it to the recipe? How do you do that? Kimmy, a great way to do this is to swap the single ingredients within a recipe on your plan. So if you see, for example, broccoli is in one of those regular recipes that you use a lot, go ahead and click on that ingredient, and then you're going to see other options. The plan's going to provide for you other vegetables to choose from. So it's also a good way to kind of look through those choices and give you some ideas maybe of things you'd like to try as well. All right. Yeah, Kimmy, exactly, Kimmy. You said replace a vegetable in a meal. Exactly. That's going to swap out that vegetable for another choice. And again, G Plans, what your plan will do for you is if that other vegetable that you're adding in is a little bit different when it comes to the calories and macronutrients, it's going to adjust those portion sizes for you to make sure everything's still within an appropriate range for you. All right. And then Robert did have a question clarifying on what more whole-based food means. That's a good question, Robert. Yeah, just in general, limiting more processed foods. So sticking to more natural whole foods. So like a lean protein, vegetables, fruits, nuts as a snack. Prioritizing these types of foods in your diet is definitely going to lead you to the best success overall. I do have some good past presentations on this topic as well. So if you haven't checked out some other past nutrition masterclasses here on this YouTube, I also encourage you maybe scroll down a little bit on this live page. And we have lots of past presentations you may want to take a look at as well. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this was a very helpful topic. And again, if you do have more questions, please feel free to reach out to me personally. You will find my email here in this chat box as well. So please, if I didn't get to your question today, if you have anything else, please go ahead and send me an email and I'd love to get back to you. So I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday. And I do hope to see you again next week for another nutrition masterclass.